Hi everyone and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Rosana. Today we are making a classic. We're making traditional Mexican barbacoa and we're making it with beef. This dish actually takes about 4 hours to cook, so let's get to it. Today we are making barbacoa, which is cooked slowly until fork tender. There are different versions of barbacoa with variations consisting of the meat used, aromatics, cooking method, and even leaves the meat is wrapped in. This recipe can be made with goat, but we are using beef. Here I have 3.5 pounds of boneless beef chuck roast. Before prepping the meat, we need to pat it dry. This way it browns evenly. This cut is rich and ideal for slow cooking. It will tenderize beautifully. Now cut into medium-sized pieces and try to cut them as even in size as possible, being careful not to cut them too small. Generously sprinkle the meat with salt and distribute evenly. Additionally, add a generous amount of ground black pepper. It also helps to turn them around so they can pick up some of the seasoning laying on the cutting board surface. We are also using 2 pounds of chuck short ribs as a second cut of meat. It obviously contains bone, and this is important because it will add a lot of flavor. Follow the same steps done to the chuck roast. Pat it dry, then generously season with salt and ground black pepper. Before we brown the meat, let's quickly prep the chilies. This way they rehydrate while we are working on other tasks. I'm using 6 dry guajillo chilies, 1 large dry ancho chili, 1 dry pasilla chili, and 4 árbol chilies for some heat. You can omit these tiny chiles de árbol if you don't want any heat added. These are all deveined with the exception of the árbol chilies, and they are all rinsed. As you have seen before, I like to cut the chili so they can fit into the container, then carefully pour in enough hot water to cover them and allow them to rehydrate. Set them aside. This process will take about 5 minutes. Now let's brown the meat. Heat about 3 tablespoons of olive oil over medium-high heat and add the meat. Allow the chunks to brown and try not to move them until we have reached the desired color. Then turn so the other side does the same. Remove from the heat when ready and brown the remainder of the meat. Try not to overcrowd the pan while doing so. When the meat is ready, transfer to a heat-proof plate and remove the pan from the heat. Time to make the flavorful sauce. In a blender, combine all the rehydrated chilies, 2 tablespoons of white vinegar, 5 peeled garlic cloves, 1 teaspoon of dry oregano, half a teaspoon of whole cumin seeds, half a teaspoon of whole black peppercorns, 4 whole cloves, half of a medium yellow roughly cut onion, and finally 1.5 cups of the water the chilies were rehydrated in. Blend until completely broken down and smooth. Pour into a bowl. You can strain if needed, but no need to strain this one, it's smooth. Okay, now for the star of the show, banana leaves. Yes, these are going to take this barbacoa to the next level. The aroma and flavor are simply amazing. To prep them, I rinsed and pat them dry. Now to make them flexible, heat a griddle or comal and slightly heat them up like so. I'm only doing one side. Don't leave them there for too long. I won't fast forward this part of the video so you can see how long it took me. We are going to need about 6 large leaves, which means we're using about half of the 1 pound bag they are sold in. And there you have it. Just repeat the same steps with the remainder of the leaves. Okay, let's assemble it so we can begin the cooking process. Start by lining a large oven-safe pot with the banana leaves. Lay them against the sides and make sure to cover the bottom as well. Next, on the bottom, place a handful of dry avocado leaves and spread them well. Dip the brown meat into the chili sauce and coat it well. Transfer to the lined pot and place over the avocado leaves. Repeat the step with the remainder of the meat and arrange inside the pot. By the way, if you can't find banana and avocado leaves, feel free to omit them. If you really want to be adventurous, try looking for them at your local Mexican store. The banana leaves can be found in the frozen aisle and the avocado ones in the dry spice area. Add another handful of avocado leaves across the top of the meat, plus 2 bay leaves. Also, a handful of thyme sprigs, 1 cinnamon stick, and finally pour in 6 cups of water. Cover everything like a special gift. Additionally, cover with a few more banana leaves to make sure it is well enclosed. Banana leaves are large and durable, perfect for cooking a great deal of traditional Mexican recipes. These are going to perfume the entire barbacoa. You can count on it. Cover with the lid and place on the center of a preheated oven and allow it to bake for 4 hours on a 350 degrees Fahrenheit oven or until the meat is fork tender. Believe it when I tell you, my house smells magical. The banana leaves are so fragrant. When you remove the pot from the oven, be careful with the steam. You will also be able to hear the consommé bubble. Carefully open it, allowing the steam to escape without burning yourself. Remove the leaves and unwrap your present. This looks amazing. First, we want to remove all the herbs to uncover the meat and consommé. The more I uncover, the more my mouth waters. Watch how the bones release easily from the cooked meat. It's super tender and I'm over the moon excited about the consommé. It is packed with flavor. We are looking to make tacos. Let's remove the meat from the pot. Then start the shredding process. This is what we're looking for. Look at it. It falls apart so beautifully. You actually don't need a knife. A fork does the job easily. Some of the thoughts that come to mind right now are soft, tender, moist, delicious, and succulent. These tacos are gonna leave me speechless. As you can see, I removed all of the banana and avocado leaves as well as any aromatics I may have missed. All I want in this pot is the consommé. Go ahead and place over medium to medium-low heat to keep the broth hot and on a low simmer. We don't want it to reduce. Then, as previously seen, add the meat back into the broth to keep it moist and hot. At this point, you will also see a layer of fat settle on the surface. Remove it and transfer it to a heat-proof container and set it aside because we will make great use of it in a moment. Just watch. At this point, taste and if needed, stir in some salt. Dip the tortilla into the fat we reserved and place on a hot comal to slightly fry it on both sides. If you're using store-bought, I would suggest 2 tortillas per taco because they don't hold as well since they are much thinner than handmade. For these tacos, I'm using homemade corn tortillas, which I have a tutorial for. Feel free to check it out. It's going to be in the description area. Now, if you're having a hard time with store-bought, I would suggest omit the fat part and simply heat them up. Oh yes, these are hot and slightly fried. You know the deal. Place the barbacoa in the center of each tortilla and try not to add the broth. We don't want to soften the tortilla too much. Add diced onion, chop cilantro, and spoon a delicious salsa over the barbacoa. This one's my green salsa recipe. I will link to it in the notes together with other great options. Now open up the flavors with a touch of lime juice. This is a masterpiece in every way. Barbacoa is more than a recipe. It represents tradition and history. As you take a bite, prepare to discover more of the amazing flavors gifted to us by Mexican cuisine. Remember that flavorful soup the meat was cooked in? Great, because it's amazing and we call it CONSOMMÉ. Transfer some to a bowl together with some of the succulent meat and top it with diced onion and chopped cilantro as well. Drizzle some lime juice and combine. I'm from Michoacan and we like to pair the tacos with a nice warm bowl of consommé. You could even dip the taco into the soup. Okay, enough talking, let's taste. Wow, this is so tasty. It reminds me of my sweet and beautiful Mexico. Oh, this is so good. I mean, when I make barbacoa, I have to have some consommé. It's a must. It's so good. So much flavor. That lime really opens up the flavors. They bloom beautifully. All right, let's do the tacos. These look amazing as well. All right. We're going for the second one. Gosh, these are great. They're so delicious. Look, I've had barbacoa and tacos just like this. Then I've also had it kind of like a soup style where we'll have like chunks of meat, a lot of it by the way. Then you add the consommé, the toppings, a touch of lime. Then you roll up a tortilla, you dip it in. It is so good, it's delicious. I really recommend this one as well. Another way that we like to serve barbacoa is as an entree. So we'll do bigger chunks of meat, and then you can do a side of rice, a salad on the side as well. It is so delicious. Obviously, you have to pair it with corn tortillas. They're a must. If you decide to do it as an entree, just make sure to remember to drizzle some of that consommé right over the meat. It's gonna be so juicy and delicious. All right, well, remember that you can follow me on all of my social media platforms. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and click the notification bell. Again, my name is Rosana. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next one.